can find scientific studies out there that say stress is bad for you, avoid it. But there's this new body of research that is the most exciting.
Learning how to train your brain to conquer fear and take action and quit being such a puss.
There's actually this new study that was just published by Harvard, and they were looking at kids in college, and there's something called safetyism, which you're gonna hate this. But
do you believe that people find happiness? What it is, Brad Lee back again with another episode of Dropping Bombs today in the studio, folks. As always, I have a real treat for you. Jill Schulman is in the house. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks.
If you guys don't know who she is, she blew things up in the Marine Corps, then basically started selling drugs.
Pretty much, yes.
Not the illegal kind. Yeah, I would assume pharmaceutical industry. Now she basically is ripping people's comfort zones apart.
Heck yeah.
Which I think is a huge need in today's day and age. But for the last 25 years, she trained leaders at every level on the battlefield, in the boardroom, and now through a new book, The Bravery Effect. She's teaching the science behind what it actually takes to be brave. She's part badass Marine, part UPenn trained psychology nerd, and 100% committed to turning stuck, safe, and stagnant people into bold, brave, purpose-driven leaders. And if you've ever been held back by fear or doubt or the comfort of the easy way, then this episode is your wake-up call. Ladies and gentlemen, the infamous Jill Schulman.
Thanks for having me.
What'd you do in the Marines?
I was a combat engineer officer.
Oh.
So then people say, you're an engineer? I'm like, I'm a combat engineer. You know what that is?
I do. The combat engineer, which, by the way, the MOS for that is the combat engineer would be, damn, I know this.
So
do you know it?
Yeah, 13. It's all the 13s. Like I was a 1302 because I was an officer in charge, and then underneath me were all the 13s. Like I had Marines that their expertise was specifically to do demolitions. There's like your sappers, right? And then I also had explosive ordnance disposal. I had people who were great at building, doing construction. I had heavy equipment operators. I had like, anytime we're pursuing the enemy and there's an obstacle in our way, it's the job engineers up to breach the obstacles. So we could build a bridge, build a road, clear a minefield. And then we also had the mission of counter mobility. So when we're in a defensive posture, our job is to make it hard for the enemy to get us by creating obstacles. So that's what engineers do in a nutshell.
So the Bravery Effect, basically it's learning how to train your brain to conquer fear and take action and quit being such a puss.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We're getting too soft. And I believe in today's world, a lot of people confuse happiness and comfort. They think to have a great life, I want everything to be easy. I don't want any challenges. I don't want any adversity. And then I'm going to be happy. But if you want an easy life, that is a shortcut to an unfulfilled life. And this isn't just my opinion. It's not just my opinion. I studied the science of happiness and well-being at UPenn under the best minds in positive psychology. So every time I make a statement, it's not my opinion. I can cite probably 10 studies to back it up. So pursuing what you want and challenging yourself to face your fears and overcome your fears, that is a key to living your best life, elevating your happiness.
Well, I want to talk about that only because, I've never been a big fan of academia.
Ooh.
Now, only because maybe deep down psychologically, I didn't go, but it wasn't necessarily because I wasn't a fan of it. I just didn't get to go. Now that I'm an older gentleman and looking back, I think that was my advantage that I didn't go because a lot of the people that went are now working for me. So how's that possible?
Nice. Well, I just went back to school 3 or 4 years ago. So for most of my life, I went to college on the Marine Corps, and then I was a Marine, and I was in the business world, and I was just,
Did you kick ass?
Well, I've always been a high performer.
You didn't have to go to college to kick ass.
No, but as I was serving my clients, so I go into businesses and I do leadership development. I help improve culture to drive results. And I became very interested because I was always reading articles because I wanted to bring the most value. I didn't want to just bring the Jill opinion. Here's what I did as a Marine, just yell at people. No, I wanted to look at what do we know are the things that if we teach leaders, it's going to lead to better results. And so one thing I ran into, it was actually, it was a TEDx that I watched by Sean Aker. I don't know if you know who that is. He wrote a book called The Happiness Advantage. And he was talking about many times people think that when they achieve a goal, then they'll be happy. And he said, we've got the happiness equation backwards. It's when we generate positive emotions and we find happiness and joy and positivity in what we do. That's the rocket fuel to be able to achieve your goals.
Do you believe that people find happiness?
Now, there's so many ways I could answer that. People can create happiness in their life. I think so many times people are a victim, like, oh, this is just my life and I can't do anything about it. And I say, bullshit. You can choose to create the life that you want.
Hey, the key word there was what?
Choose.
I think you can choose happiness.
You can choose happiness.
See? So again, it's not something people find.
You don't find it. You have to work for it. But
you just said find. So I want the listeners to understand. Guys, and I love the fact that you went and got the degrees and all that, because again, if there's studies, and that's what triggered my whole rant on academia, because there's always studies, oh, well, they have studies. Well, dude, first of all, who funded those studies? That's what I always look at. Who funded them? Why is that the frickin' law? They have a study. Who gives a shit? How many people did they talk to? 100. There's billions. You're telling me, well, that doesn't mean shit half the time. Don't be baffled by studies. But I think the choices is what's the key. So when you said choose, you can choose. Yes, you can choose. And I think that you can choose to be happy. What do the studies say about that? Do they agree?
Well, just one comment about academia in general, because I'm with you. One thing I found after I studied and then I wrote my book, I realized that all the stuff that we have proven in modern science is the same stuff that the Stoics were saying even before the Bible was written. So it's really the same stuff. I think these are universal truths, but then there are people that have wanted to look at the nuances. And I think the nuances are important. Can I just give you one example? So everyone knows about like gratitude journaling. Have you heard that? Do you have a practice? Everyone says, oh, to be happy, you have to have gratitude. Now, here's one thing I learned, and this is a study done by Dr. Marty Seligman. Like, he's like Taylor Swift, but in psychology, probably the most famous psychologist, the father of positive psychology. And in his research, he found that if you just ask people to think about 3 things they're thankful for each day, for the first week, it feels kind of good and it generates some positive emotions, but then it's the same things over and over again. And then it doesn't have an impact on your happiness. So the right way to do a gratitude practice to train your brain to see the positive is answering this question each day, which is, what are 3 good things that have happened to you over the last 24 hours? Every day they're going to be different. So it's gratitude about what happened, what you experienced in the last 24 hours. So you see that little difference. And that's why I like looking at studies, because I used to think that gratitude is like, just what are 3 things I'm thankful? I'm thankful for my health and for my family and for my career. And it was the same things. And I'm like, is this supposed to be getting me fired up? Like, it felt, okay. So if you do it the second way, and that's what's been studied, you're actually training your brain to see the positive, to be more optimistic. So there's that little nuance where science can help us do it right. Most people get gratitude wrong.
Do you believe that we are vibrational frequencies?
I don't know anything about vibrational frequencies.
You would love, and you should look into it.
Okay.
Are you being sarcastic?
No, I actually don't know. There's so many people that talk about vibrational frequencies.
Well, it's science. You're a science nerd now.
I need to look into it.
Scientifically speaking, it can be proven that you, Jill, are technically vibrating at every level. It's like a vibrational frequency. This has a frequency. Yeah. And this desk has a frequency. Yeah. It's like everything has a vibrational frequency to it. And that's scientifically proven as well. And so we're frequencies. And so I talk about the gratitude thing as well. And again, I like what you said, because it's not about, write down 3 things I'm grateful for, and then it's the same things over and over, like you discovered. In my mind, you can make a choice. We got free will. Do you believe in God?
I believe in a higher being. Yes. Call it God, call it whatever.
But you don't believe the story of, like, for example, Jesus.
I believe that there was a gentleman named Jesus. I mean, I grew up Christian.
Well, he wasn't Jesus, it was Yahshua, but yeah, he exists is what you're saying.
Yeah. I love all religions. I think all religions are great. And at least my opinion is that all religions are trying to get at the same universal truth. And I think they're all beautiful in different ways. But for me to say that this is the only one that's right and all other are wrong, that's where I think each religion is trying to explain the same God.
Yeah. Well, I agree with that. You know, I think there's truth in all of them because there's a shred of the creator in all of them.
In all of us.
But man got a hold of the truth, and you know, all of a sudden I'm going to say it this way, so I get you to do what I need you to do. And well, I don't really like that rule, so let me just modify it a smidge. And now you have all these different varying religions. But I do believe there's a creator.
I believe that too. Because
otherwise you would believe that a big explosion out of nothing created everything. This doesn't make sense.
The world is too miraculous.
Yeah, like you cut your skin and it just starts to heal itself. Like, how in the hell?
How does that work? Yeah. Or even if we talk about bravery and neuroplasticity, like I've been getting more and more into the neurology. Like if you do something that's really hard, something that you fear and you really don't want to do it, but you do it anyway, all of a sudden your brain's like, uh-oh. Well, that was kind of hard. It's just like a muscle. If you want to build muscles, you go in and you make your muscle uncomfortable and you do it until it hurts and it gets sore and then your body changes. The same thing happens in our brain. Like when you start doing hard things, it's hard in the beginning, but the more you do it, the easier it gets.
Well, again, you know what's crazy? And I'm sure you've heard this around the way. The thing doesn't get easier. You get tougher.
Yes, true.
So it doesn't get any easier. It's the same shit it was before, but you got tougher, so it seems easier.
Yes,
but
that's accurate.
I was going where I go with the gratitude part is because when I was a little bit younger, I put a sign on my wall that said, "Congratulations, you get another day," because I wanted to train my brain to be grateful, period. Just grateful. I didn't need to journal and write shit down. I just wanted me to be optimistic because at the end of the day, I believe there's a choice, right? It's all the power of choice, which is free will. We have free will. So when I wake up, I can look at my email or I can get a drink of water. I can go eat donuts or I can go eat egg whites. You know, it's whatever I choose.
Yes.
And so if we're frequencies, and we are, and there's good and bad frequencies, there's, you know, what I call heavenly and earthly, depression, anxiety, fear, doubt, worry, confidence, courage, love, happiness, joy, generosity. You know, there's just assume what's in heaven if there is a heaven.
Yeah.
That's why I say heavenly. So I have a choice supposedly. And if I do, I can operate over here or I can operate over here. So I did it just to get me to operate in that frequency. I wanted to be positive. I wanted to be optimistic. So I put a sign, say, "Congratulations, you get another day." And I started to realize like just the day is worth more than anything I could have achieved in the day. So everyone wakes up, they have no money, but they woke up, but they're bummed about no money. They're bummed about they got bills to pay. Instead of, hey, look, I get another day. And it worked. It turned me very optimistic. And when you start to change your perspective into optimism, you start to recognize opportunities everywhere. And it's the craziest thing. So it does work.
Yeah. And what you're talking about, as we were talking before we got started a little bit about like, you know, training and development, optimism is one of those learnable skills. There's a book called Learned Optimism. A lot of people are just negative and pessimistic and say, this is just the way I am. It's a choice. It's back to being a choice. And you can learn to be optimistic. It's a choice.
And you should.
And you should.
Because you're gonna, I mean, what's crazy about people, Jill, is why wouldn't you? Why would you want to be negative and pessimistic and scared and fearful and doubtful? And why would you want to be that way?
Yeah. But I want to give a little grace to those out there that might be feeling that way. Because if we look at our evolutionary roots, we are wired to be more driven and motivated by fear than things that we want. So back in caveman days, when there was something that was dangerous that we feared, if we ran away from it, we survive more. So really the way we're wired is when there's something that scares us, that we're motivated to run away, or that's part of what's in our wiring, but we can override it. So I'm 100% with you. But at the same time, I want to recognize there's so many people out there that listen to you, listen to me, listen to other people who are successful and brave and go after things. And they just want to do that. And I just want them to know that it is something that you can learn.
Marty, and you teach it.
And I teach it. Yeah.
So there's going to be people afraid to buy your book.
Yes.
Seriously. And it's like, that's what's crazy. It's like you went around the country teaching people how to step into their confidence and become more action taking, brave. You know, the key word brave.
Keyword brave.
So did you pick brave, the word brave, because of the meaning of it, or because what? Why brave?
It was in a conversation with my husband. I just finished my capstone at UPenn as part of the program. And when I went through the program, there's so much literature, so many different strategies that can lead you to happiness and well-being, to elevate it. And when I went through it, I was looking for like, what resonates most with me? When you go through a program, they go find the one little thing and do a deep dive. And there's 5 things, according to the literature, that if you work on these 5 things, it'll elevate your happiness and well-being. So it's the PERMA, P-E-R-M-A. So P is positive emotions, like doing gratitude. E is engagement, getting into flow, Csikszentmihalyi's research. R is relationships, because of course we can't really be happy with good quality relationships.
Without them, you mean?
You cannot have the highest levels of happiness and well-being without quality relationships in life, people that you love.
Give you the bomb on that one.
Yeah. So that's R. M is meaning, and A is accomplishment. And in my field of positive psychology, A doesn't get a lot of play. Like there's a lot on the PERM, but accomplishment, sometimes in my circles in positive psychology, like, oh, don't talk about accomplishment. That's a dirty word. I'm like, that is not a dirty word. When we accomplish meaningful things and build relationships along the way and what it does to us, I mean, we should not be shy about going after accomplishments. So I took a deep dive in accomplishments. And when I was doing the research, so many people are just waiting until they feel confident, waiting until they feel ready, which is code for I'm scared. And the definition of bravery is taking voluntary action despite fear toward a meaningful or worthwhile goal. So everyone's just waiting until the fear disappears. So they're not accomplishing much because they think they're not supposed to be experiencing fear. So when I discovered that, I'm like, I want to help people overcome fear. And out of all the different character strengths, courage or bravery is one of the top 2 that people want more of, but they just don't know how.
Yeah.
And people think you're just born with it. Oh, like there's Navy SEALs and firefighters and you're just born brave. No, it is a skill that you can build, and it's so worth it because it will change your life.
What about discipline? Do you think you're born with discipline?
I think discipline can also be trained. I think it's natural. Some people have it, but if you don't have it, I think you can build it. What are your thoughts?
I would challenge anyone on, I believe discipline is a choice as well. Because again, I mean, I like to simplify things. If you say, I'm going to start a diet, and then you don't, oh, you don't have any discipline. That's an excuse. You chose not to do it, didn't you?
Yes. It's a choice.
That's a choice. So you're not born with discipline. Discipline isn't a character trait. It's a decision to consistently do that thing that you don't want to do. So if I all of a sudden said, oh, I'm going to eat tuna out of a can for the next 90 days, and every day I eat tuna out of a can, everybody would say, man, his discipline is amazing. What am I doing? Honestly, I'm choosing to not do anything else but what I committed to do. You
are what you consistently do.
So it's just a choice. Again, discipline. I don't have any discipline, man. I got to work on my discipline. No, you have to stop making stupid choices. And I think that deteriorates your self-image. And I also think that you're never going to outperform your own self-image. So if you really want to become brave, I think, and I'm going to get into this with you because I know that you've mastered teaching people and have done it several years. I think ultimately you have to build your self-image, don't you, first?
Yes. So what I teach is first we have to believe that we can do hard things. So we start with cognitive psychology. So yes, we have to believe that maybe I'm not there right now. Like maybe I'm not thin and fit yet. So just when people just use the word yet, Carol Dweck's growth mindset, then it just opens the door of possibility, which creates optimism, right? Like I can't do pull-ups yet. I did them when I was a young Marine, but I'm back and I'm on a mission. Like I can't do pull-ups yet, but it's a choice. If I keep working on it, I will be able to do pull-ups. So 100%. I'm working on it. So it's the belief systems.
Looks like you can do pull-ups.
Almost. I'm getting closer and closer. The second thing that I teach in the cognitive psychology realm is teaching people that challenges and stress are good things, not bad things. And when you look at all the stuff that's out on media, it seems like everyone is saying like stress is bad, eliminate it. And it's simply not true. Now you can find scientific studies out there that say stress is bad for you, avoid it. But there's this new body of research that is the most exciting. Aaliyah Crum from Stanford and Kelly McGonigal. What they found is you can have a stress is enhancing mindset. So if you believe that stress is my body is preparing me to prepare for a really important moment, that is what stress is doing. It's getting your blood pumping and breathing to get more oxygen in blood. I mean, stress can be viewed positively. And when you view stress in a positive way, it increases your performance. It increases your ability to be resilient. And what's really interesting is you have a positive physiological response to stress. They actually did this study. They went into a really stressful company, UBS, that finance company where people are trading, so really high stress. And they simply went in there and gave half the leaders a video that says, stress is horrible, it's going to kill you, avoid it. The other half, they gave a video that said, stress is enhancing, it'll make you stronger to help you grow. And then they followed these leaders, and there was a statistical significant difference, and performance was much higher in the people that watched a 3-minute video teaching them that stress is enhancing. And then they had a higher job satisfaction. They even looked at their blood pressure, statistical significance. Your body believes you when you say, stress is good for me. So I'm trying to correct the misconceptions out there, because if everyone thinks stress is bad, like, do you have kids? 7 kids? I have 2. But do you hear this from your kids with all their reels? Like, oh, this is stressful. This is giving me anxiety. I shouldn't do it. That's not true. So that's the cognitive psychology. There's a lot of things in cognitive psychology that I teach. So how do you know though? Because they were teaching that it wasn't, and then 2 people found that it was. Who do you believe, and how do you know this one was right? Maybe they were right, and these guys are full of shit. Well, the interesting thing about science is you say, like, who funded this? There's going to be research that can back up most claims. But what you have to do is you have to look at the quality of the study. You have to look at meta-analysis. Now, too much stress isn't good for us. And if you have a negative stress mindset, then the inside of your vasculature gets smaller, which increases blood pressure. And you do that for 50 years. And that is what gives you a premature heart attack. So think of it like as muscles. If I went into the gym and went all out every day and never rested my body's not going to be stronger. Overtraining. So it's overtraining. So it's the same thing with stress. There is such thing as too much stress, and that can lead to burnout, and that is negative. So we need to know what are the things that we're going to focus on. Where do we strategically choose to push ourselves? But we got to get that rest in. Why are you so passionate about helping? I say pusses just for fun, but I don't really mean it. I mean, people that are just like, they question their own abilities. They lack confidence. They're scared. It's the people you're trying to help. They have no bravery. Because again, working out, you don't have to be brave to work out. You might have to be brave to walk into a dark house with weird sounds, but you're not brave working out and eating right. Why is that bravery? Well, there's different types of bravery. There's the physical bravery, like Navy SEALs, firefighters, United States Marines going into physical danger. Yeah. But most of the danger that people are scared of is social danger. It's afraid of making a mistake, of being embarrassed, of failing. That's the bravery that is relevant to most audiences. It's mental bravery. It's mental bravery. So you have to believe that you can do it, but you can't just live in dreamland. Like, some people that just talk about goals and dream about goals and do vision boards, but don't take a step, that is not being brave. Like the mindset opens the door, but you got to walk through it. And so when you talk about taking brave action, what I teach my audiences is do it scared. Like, don't wait until you're 100% confident, because that day may never come. So sometimes when you actually take a step forward when on shaky knees and then you do it, you're like, oh, that didn't go so bad. You feel more confident. So you build more confidence by actually taking the action. So when you've got a fear, instead of running away from it, you need to keep taking steps toward it. Albert Bandura, famous psychologist, did all the work on self-efficacy. Like, he had this study that was really interesting. People had a phobia of snakes. So if people are really scared of snakes, and I don't know why he did the research on snakes and why people wanted to get over it, because I'd be fine being afraid of snakes. I don't want to try to. But what he found is, what he helped his patients do is, the first thing he did is he brought in a photo of snakes, which made them uncomfortable. Ooh, I don't like looking at these snakes. But once they got comfortable looking at snakes, then he brought in a video of watching them move. And then he brought in a tank, an aquarium with snakes in it on the far side of his office. And then he brought that aquarium closer. And then he got the snake out in front of these patients and he held them in front of him. Eventually they were holding them. So this study really shows that the only way that you can build more confidence is you got to take steps toward it. And it's like exposure therapy. So in all the things that we're scared of in our careers or in our life, I find so many people are just waiting and they're like, it's just not me. I just don't feel ready yet. And I want them to know you're not supposed to feel ready. Lean forward and take a step. Now, if you want to climb Mount Everest tomorrow, or you want to climb Mount Everest, don't try and go do it next week. That is too far of a jump, but you keep taking step by step by step. And that exposure, moving closer to the thing that you fear, is what conquers the fear. So you got to take action in order to be brave. In fact, if you're not taking action, you're just thinking optimistically, but you're not doing shit.
Yeah. Well, repetition of wins. Do you think that is why?
Yes. Repetition of wins. So you have to,
because I get more confident, and it does require action, but I always say, because people always ask me, how are you so confident? Which, again, I didn't know that I was. I'm still afraid of things, but certain things, not at all. Why? Well, because I started to look back. What did I do? Well, I had to take action. And ultimately, I just started realizing that confidence is like the memory of winning.
Yeah.
So if I fought 15 Navy SEALs and I won all the fights, I would be a lot more confident fighting the 16th one and less scared of the first one. You know what I mean? Like I was in the first one. Yeah. So I just thought maybe that's memory of winning. So like maybe if we just started winning more and acknowledging those wins mentally, we'll become more confident.
Yes. And when we celebrate our progress, that is one of the motivators to keep going. Because the reason why a lot of people say they want to lose weight and then after 2 weeks they stop is because they make a mistake and they just throw in the towel. So,
and it kind of is uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, like you want that damn maple bar, that donut.
It's so damn good.
That Starbucks vanilla latte.
But you need to celebrate progress. So sometimes the first time you try something new, it may not be a win and you're not the best person at it. Maybe I didn't win the fight with the Navy SEAL. Use that example. But maybe I got in the ring. I was brave enough to get in the ring and I got a couple jabs in. And then you leave there and go, that was a win because I got in the ring and I got a couple jabs in and I learned a lot. I kept getting clocked with that right hook. Why? So anytime you try something, you're going to have some wins that you want to celebrate and then you learn from failure. I'm not scared of failing anymore. I am not scared of failing. When I fail, and I've got lots of failures, I feel like I fail more and more now because I'm leaning forward and going for it. So sometimes the first time I do it, it's not perfect. But when it happens, I have a pity party for about 5 minutes and I'm like, all right, so what did I learn? And I take that and it motivates me because I don't want to suck the second time, or I don't want to be a low performer a second time. So that really motivates me to do it again. So yes, repetition again and again and again. And then when you do have little failures or when you're not perfect yet, realize that you're going through the learning curve. Sometimes people think success is supposed to be linear. I want to become super fit. I want to lose all this weight. They just think the path to success is this straight linear line. There's going to be ups and downs. And anticipating that there's going to be challenges is another key.
Hoping,
optimism, hope.
Well, I mean, listen, I always say this. People pray for strength and then curse what strengthens them. It makes no sense.
Say that again.
They pray for strength and then curse or hide from what strengthens them.
Oh, yes.
Like,
I think you need to push the button there. That was a good one.
Because I think I'm a philosopher of sorts.
Ooh, bring it.
So I just think, like, why do people do things? And why do I do things? Why don't I do things? And you start to realize, like, the hard things is what strengthens you. So you pray for strength, then things get hard and you run from it. It's almost like, no. That's what you asked for.
Yes.
That's what you need, coincidentally. But most people shy away from the hard things and they go towards the comfortable things. And it's almost like a trick because the comfortable things will lead to discomfort.
It will. Exactly.
So you just spend your whole life looking for the easy way. You're going to end up in a difficult situation where if you just focus on the difficult situations, you're going to end up comfortable. Like, it's crazy. It's almost a trick.
It's a trick. And
who's tricking us?
And
is the devil?
Probably. This is why we need to be talking about it. We need to help people understand the truth. Yes. Pray for strength. Pray for the struggles, the challenges, the opportunities that you're scared of, and go after them. Like, I've got 2 bracelets on today. One is embrace the suck, which I say in every one of my keynotes. The other is the challenge is the teacher. Yeah. So when you've got a challenge, most people in life are going to quit and run the other way. This is the differentiator. Yeah. You have an opportunity to stand out.
You do a lot of keynotes and you work with a lot of big organizations. Like, you're one of those corporate speakers they bring into the big corporate events.
There's 2 things that you've done now. I love it. Academic. You hear the way he's saying that? You can tell he's like corporate. Academic, and now he's like corporate. So yeah, I'm basically academic and corporate. So I see your tone there.
Well, again, and I think it's deep-seated pain because I was never accepted to those groups.
Ah, okay.
And then now I look back and it's like, I still made it, because everyone obviously thinks, man, you better get a degree and you better get a good corporate job. When in reality, I didn't need to. And not only didn't I need to, that was just not true. You don't need a degree to succeed. Now, do people say, well, what do you think about going to college? Well, I'd highly recommend people go to college, but for a different reason. Not just the education, the relationships.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I didn't hear PERMA before. See, so that's why I'd go back to college. I'd highly recommend people go to college for the education, but not miss the real value.
Yeah.
And that is the relationships.
Yes.
That you're going to create there, or could create there, if you were brave.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they don't even have the bravery to introduce themselves.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's crazy to me.
Especially our younger generation. So when I had some of my friends and beta readers read the book, and I'll give you a copy of the book.
Beta readers?
Beta readers is when...
Like beta in the beginning, or beta as beta?
Beta in the beginning, beta readers. So when you write a book, like, here's an area that I was having to be brave because I've never written a book before. Like, even I have some self-doubt. Like, is anyone going to read it? Is anyone going to care? So I want to mention something about relationships that ties in here. So I talk a lot about things that you can do internally to be disciplined and motivated to do hard things. But the other thing that we can do is develop the relationships with others to help us be brave. So what did I do if I wanted to write a book? I started finding people who has been successful in writing books, and let me surround myself with the people that are going to say, oh, I did that. Here's what to do. So Ken Blanchard, he's been my mentor for years.
Sure.
So he wrote the foreword in my book. He's been encouraging me for like 8 years. It took me way too long to do this. John Gordon's another mentor.
Sure.
So I'm surrounding myself with people who have done the hard thing. So when I'm struggling or I've got a little bit of self-doubt, I can go to them and they'll say, oh, when I first wrote my first book. It was really hard. So relationships can actually help you become braver. So there's the internal things we need to do to be disciplined. But also I want everyone to know, like, you need to create the environment that makes it easier to be successful. That old saying of you are who you hang out with. This is true. If I want to climb a mountain, I should probably start meeting some people who have climbed mountains and start hanging out with them. I shouldn't hang out with the people who like to binge Netflix and game all day, because when I have to go out and train, they're going to be like, oh, why would you do that? Let's just sit on the couch. So one of the things that helped me be successful with the book is there's bravery in approaching the people, going up to someone you admire and saying, this book that you wrote, The Energy Bus, John Gordon, it's absolutely amazing. And the story in it impacted so many. I want to do something like that. Can I ask you a couple of questions? So some people are too chicken shit to go up to someone that they admire and ask them some questions for help. So the relationships can help us be brave. Mm-hmm.
So when you're on these stages at these corporate events,
yes,
and non-corporate, you speak all.
Yeah.
So are you ever going to use people pray for strength, yet run or hide or curse what strengthens them?
Well, I'm going to have to quote you. I haven't used that line, but I love it. I don't know if I'd use the word pray in a corporate audience, because you got to think about what is going to resonate with the audience, but depending on the audience, but I love the idea, and I'm going to steal it from you and add it, because I think it's such a great way of looking at it. Yeah. Because I talk about embrace the suck. It's something we say in the Marine Corps and the Navy SEALs.
That means hard stuff.
Think of the word embrace. Embrace is, you're bringing it in, you're putting your arms around it, right? Because it will bring strength. So instead of running away from it, like, embrace what is hard, because it's going to make you stronger.
Now, I always think Jill, everyone knows that, but yet not necessarily. Why do you think everyone doesn't already know this, number one? And then number two, for those of the people that are listening and they're like, that's me. What's the formula to get out of it?
I think our current society is a big part of the problem, because we're getting so soft. Everything on media is about, let's make things easy. Let's take away adversity. We have so much anxiety out there. And if it makes you anxious, it's something you should avoid. Like, our current culture is getting too soft. So I blame our current culture. And the anecdote is to stop the messaging and telling people that avoiding it will get you stronger. There's actually this new study that was just published by Harvard, 2024. So just last year. And they were looking at kids in college, and there's something called safetyism, which you're going to hate this, but what they're looking at is when kids feel uncomfortable in college, what are some things to make them feel safer? So if they're going to be talking about something controversial, then they're going to give them a warning so they don't have to come to class. Are you serious?
See, those people need to be fired.
They need to be fired. Well, here's the good news.
And by the way, that's academia.
Well, but here's the new study. It basically came out that it's not working. So safetyism was avoid classes because they'll give warnings that there'll be trigger words. They have safe rooms, which anytime you feel stressed or anxious, you can, no questions asked, go to these Zen areas. They have all these different, like, safetyism.
Can I interrupt? Mm-hmm. This is where I lose fans, because if I wait, I'm not going to remember. But you just said safe rooms, no questions asked. Mm-hmm. See, the no questions asked is the problem I have with it. Because again, if you need a safe room, I'm all for freaking having something for a fragile little fella or somebody who needs it. But when it's the no questions asked, that's the part. No. So what you're saying is, because there's a lot of people that will just claim that need, and it's called a loophole, a scam.
Yeah, a scam. And they're just going to always run away with what scares them.
And we're scamming the kids by that.
And they're getting weaker because of it. So at the end of the study, they looked at the kids that used it, and the whole intent behind it was to make them happier. But their self-reported happiness and well-being went down. So avoiding what's hard in this Harvard study published in just last year said all this stuff to try to take away all of this, anything that's stressful or makes them anxious, it's not working. We need to help people, especially our kids. We need to help them learn how to take steps toward what they're scared of, kind of like the snake, analogy. Like, what is it that you're so scared of? I want to be loving and helpful to make them walk toward it, to overcome the fear, not
gain confidence.
And then they're going to gain confidence. And that's really the promise of bravery. And that's why I called the book The Bravery Effect. Is, yes, I teach people how to be brave, and anyone can be brave as long as you put in the work. It's like a muscle. You keep working it, you can build it. But the most exciting part of it is you'll be more successful, you'll accomplish more things, but it's what it does to you as a human. You look in the mirror with some freaking pride for once. You grow your self-confidence and your self-efficacy. So it's who you become on the journey. So at the end of your life, you don't look back with regret, like I was too scared to try anything.
Which most people do.
Most people do. So we've got to get the right information out there. And the reason I go corporate, there's a couple of reasons. So I work in corporate America, and a lot of my clients are in corporate America.
But I mean, you don't see that corporate America has an issue right now.
Yes. And here's the issue that I found. Whenever there's stress and adversity, what they do in the workplace is they give them more well-being benefits. So the HR teams, the HR executives, very well-intentioned, say, let's give them a gym membership, let's give them a yoga app or a meditation app, but they're not helping people be better in the flow of work and building the skill of being brave at work, of being more resilient, of taking on challenges and say, I can do this. So we're not doing the right thing in corporate America. We're just giving them more things like, hey, if you're really stressed at work, I'm going to give you more things to do after work, all these like freebies, and it just doesn't work.
Why don't we say what I was always told, which is, if you don't like it, beat it. How about that? Because then we'll give them an opportunity to find another job that's more to their liking. See, because I come from the employer side and the employee side. I worked for people and then I employ people.
Yeah.
And I've seen both sides. And in some cases, again, depending on the individual, obviously, like, why these certain employee protection rules had to be put in place, because there was employers that were taking advantage of people and it was unfair. Totally. So obviously it matters on the employer. But I'm the type of employer where I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're female. I don't care if you're black. I don't care what all these, rules were set up to protect certain kinds of people for certain valid reasons. But now, like you said, I think corporate America is taking it too far. Like, listen, I'm going to hire the best person. I don't care if they're black or female or,
it's about performance.
It's who's the best person. And if they all happen to be one particular kind, it is what it is. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, there's no such thing as affirmative action where it's like, hey, you need to hire a female. On occasion, I take guests sometimes because they're female. Why? I don't have enough females. There ain't enough Jills in the world. Where's all the ladies at?
And you know what? Like, I love that you do that, but I also don't like it. And let me tell you why.
Well, again, no, I don't do it because they're females. I'm thinking I need some females.
Yeah.
Where's the females? I do it based on who they are.
Yeah. It's
period.
Like competence.
Yeah. I don't care if you're female or male. It's just a lot of the badasses that I'm seeking, they happen to be men. Why? Because there's a lot of females that don't feel brave enough to get out and have a damn opinion. Yeah. And then they want to blame chauvinism and they want to blame it's a man's world. And I'm thinking, you guys got way more power than you think you do.
Women are so powerful. I mean, the question I always get is, what was it like as a Marine, as a female? And whenever I get that question, I said, I don't even like that question. I focused on being competent, confident, and physically strong, because I knew that's all I needed to do. So the reason why I was so successful as a Marine is because I didn't ever think about me being a woman. Didn't cross my mind. Be freaking awesome at the job. And I ran circles around a lot of the male Marines. One of my most proud accomplishments is as a combat engineer officer, I was one of the first to serve in that combat arm. They just opened up the MOS to women. So I was one of the first, like the top 5 or the first 5. And so I went into an all male unit, and I've always been competitive. Like I always want to be the best. I hope everyone feels that way. They just always want to perform at their best. And one of my most proud accomplishments is after being a platoon commander for a couple of years, they choose one lieutenant to the top lieutenant from the battalion to lead a special operations capable unit to actually go deploy overseas to actually do the job. And I was chosen for that over all the males. And again, I don't really care that I was a female, but I have great pride in that because they didn't choose me because I was a woman. They chose me because if you look at all the results, it's just about performance.
How do you know though? Maybe there was some affirmative action where someone called and said, hey, you need to give a female a chance.
I could see the performance of everyone were great Marines, but I was very good at my job.
Well, if you were getting assaulted by 5 large men, would you rather have 5 large men help you or 5 really competent women?
I'd rather have the 5 meaty men there in the arm fight.
See again, like honestly, I don't care as long as I use the word competent because again, if they're competent, those 5 meaty men might get their ass kicked. And now it doesn't matter. Give me 5 competent people. I don't care if they're male or female. I swear to God, I don't, but we get tricked. Like you ever heard that thing where I say, okay, you're driving down the road and you get in a car crash and you go to the hospital and the doctor says, I can't operate on this boy. It's my son. And everybody's all confused by it because when you think of a doctor, you usually think man. When I say nurse, you usually think female. Yeah. And now there's male nurses and there's female doctors. So I think that's just corporate America being too soft. Do you ever want to get out of corporate or are you loving the corporate environment?
The reason I love the corporate environment is I'm trying to bring this message to the largest audience and I can scale it so much faster. If I go in to do a keynote to thousands of people, I get my message to all those people and then I can hopefully do the pull through the training things to actually teach people the skills of doing it. So I guess it's the area that I went from Marine Corps to the pharmaceutical industry and worked there. And that's where I'm known. So, I guess I can go out and try to find one person by one person to try to help them, but I can scale this. And then, if companies see value in this and it drives results and it helps their employees perform better, then it's a way that I can get this out to much more people. If every company is training their people on how to do this, most people have jobs. So if the workplace is helping people with this skill, I love the corporate environment. And, you mentioned something about...
but aren't corporations afraid that you're going to come in there and empower everybody to quit? A lot of people are working there because they're not brave.
If someone is not performing well and they're not brave enough to work on their skills and become better, then they should quit.
Well, again, though, see, this is why I don't get along in corporate environments. I believe if you're working for a corporation or a company versus building one, there's a reason for it. Now, again, it doesn't mean you're bad because you work for someone else. But a lot of the reasons why a lot of the people that are unhappy in a corporate environment stay there 20 years and they're miserable, which is who you're trying to help. On the corporate side, if I were the company, I'd be like, dang, she might empower those people to quit. What would you say to them?
I'll answer that. Number one, I think companies have a responsibility to hire great people, but it's their job to help them perform at their best so that the company can accomplish their goals. Yeah. And they should have a responsibility to create the best employee experience for employees. But if they're there for 5-6 years and they move on to something else, like when I was a leader in pharma, if someone wanted to move on to something else, I didn't hold them back. I would say, come to me if there's a better opportunity. I will support you and even give you a recommendation if it's better for you personally, right? I was in corporate America for 13, 14 years. And I was always moving up and doing different jobs. So it kept it challenging. What a lot of people do is they go to work and they have a job and they get bored and they get in a rut. And then they're not very happy because they're not really being challenged. And then they're in this rut and it's not good for the company. And it's not good for the employee, because if you're unhappy going to work, you take that negative energy home. So I want everyone to become braver, like take on new challenges, do things different at work so that you feel more stimulated, engaged to do more. Because just staying in that comfort zone makes people unhappy. So
and they don't even realize it. They think that's the ticket. Like just to keep my job for 20 years, get my watch and have my pension.
And that's exactly, and I can't wait for you to read the book, because the book is written as a parable. And the main character, his name is Alex. And that's exactly what he is. He's got a job. He does it for the paycheck. He's not challenged. And he realizes the skill of bravery.
So in a nutshell for the listeners, so they don't have to wait for the book. Book comes out like August 26th. I should drop this before. So folks, it should be where the book's about to be out or it's already out when this hits. Do me a favor. I want you to go pre-order the book. If it's not out, don't wait for it to be out, even if it's not the 26th, but it drops the 26th.
Drops the 26th.
Yeah. So go, obviously guys, go get the book, support Jill in that. But what now can they do until the book comes out that can start them down the path? What would you say the formula for bravery is?
The formula for bravery is, number one, believe that you can do hard things and embrace hard things. So you got to work on your mindset, number one. Number two, don't wait until you're ready.
Take action.
Take action. And it's what I call attack the morning. So when you've got that goal, then you need to come up with your battle plan. Come up with what do you need to do consistently every day, the consistency. And we lose a lot of motivation throughout the day. So you have to wake up and attack your day. Think of Marines in battle. Do you think we wake up and we're like, let's get some coffee. What are we going to do today? No, we attack the day. So do the hardest thing, the most important thing, first thing in the morning. So we develop a warrior mindset. That's what I call. Then we attack the day to make sure we're consistently doing the things. And then lastly is create a brave tribe. Surround yourself with people that are going to help you accomplish that goal. Don't be scared. Go to the person you look up to at work or look up to that's doing the thing you want to do and make those people your circle. They're going to help you achieve that goal faster. So those are the three things. And I do have a couple things that people can access right now. So if people go to my website, I created a special page for you and your listeners. So Jill Schulman, it's www.jillschulman.com/dropping bombs. And if they go there, I put on the website a free little assessment that helps them.
People love assessments.
So it's a free assessment. And once you take the assessment, you understand, like, is it on the belief system that I'm really the weakest? Is it on, maybe I believe I can, but then I don't act, or do I lack in the relationship? So it gives you your results. And then there's a free action guide. So there's things you can immediately put to use to learn to be brave. And if anyone does buy the book early, and they go to my website, JillSchulman.com/book. They just enter it. I give them a bunch of freebies for pre-ordering the book.
So JillSchulman.com/dropping bombs, the full name.
Yep.
I'd love to see how many people actually go take advantage and how many people are afraid. Because, a lot of people be listening to this. If I was listening to this, I'd go because I realize, number one, I love information, which is knowledge, because I think the reason why we are where we are is because we believe what we believe ultimately. When someone says, well, it's because of the decisions we made and the actions we've taken. I know, but why do you think we choose like we choose and take the actions we take? It is based on beliefs, in my opinion. Would there be scientific proof of that?
Your belief systems impact your decisions to act.
Yeah. Yes. So I always say, if you want to change what you're getting, you got to change what you're doing. If you want to change what you're doing, you got to change what you believe.
That's right.
And the only way to change what you believe is get new information.
Yes.
So a guy like me who's winning and I am not afraid, I'm going to go read the book. So for people out there thinking, I ain't afraid, I'm a badass, go get the book anyway. But it's for the people that aren't.
Yeah. And if someone thinks that they're a badass, like maybe they're physically brave, once they read the book, they're like, oh, maybe I'm not very brave when it comes to relationships because I'm scared to be vulnerable and say I need help. So I think everyone's going to learn something in the book.
Where are you afraid?
Where am I afraid? I mean, I think when you research things because you almost need it.
Where do you need more bravery in your life?
Probably the vulnerability. Like a lot of like macho men, people. I've been getting better at that.
To be more vulnerable?
Yeah. Vulnerability is part of being brave.
Yeah, I need that.
Yeah,
too.
you need that too. I know.
Yeah, like the other day I was talking to someone, he's one of those guys should cry guys.
Well, I don't cry.
And we had a difference of opinion. I'm like, no, guys should be a little more stoic and quit being such pussies. And he didn't agree, And I like when people disagree, because to me it's like, that's how you learn and grow. But I need to be more vulnerable. He goes, dude, it's vulnerability. I'm like, why would I want to be more vulnerable?
And I'm not talking about the vulnerability that we're going to have cry parties, because I do not support that. This is about when you're trying to do really hard things. So when you're being ambitious and getting out of your comfort zone and moving toward the thing that you fear, and you're going through the ups and downs on the path, you got to be able to call that brave tribe and be able to say like, hey, I ran into a stumbling block. Can you help? Sometimes I hesitate to call people to say, hey, can you help me out with this? And I'm getting better at that. I mean, I can figure things out on my own, but if you want to accomplish more faster, get the right network of people, the brave tribe. And why wouldn't I call up John Gordon?
So how would an individual find a brave tribe? How do they identify who should be in it and who shouldn't?
A brave tribe are the people that will encourage you. Encourage means to put courage in, specifically around the goal that you're trying to accomplish. Usually they're not the people that you hang out with right now. I'm not saying like fire your friends, fire your mom, or anything like that. Like when I started my business many years ago, I mean, I was working for a big company. I had benefits. I had 401k. I had pension. I made great money. And I was leaving because I wanted to start my own business.
Why?
Because I wanted to be able to control my time and be more home for my kids. You know why? Because I came home one day on a Friday, picked up my kindergartner, and she had a picture of the family. And I wasn't in the picture. Talk about something that shakes you. So I decided I want to work for myself so I can control my time. I was flying to Chicago every week.
Which is why I don't go to corporations, because if I'm telling the truth, if I talk to corporate employees, I'm going to be like, why are you willing to sit here all day for a limited income when you could literally go out and get rich? And then everyone looks at me like, everyone doesn't have the ability to get rich.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
It's a choice.
It's a choice, and it's uncomfortable, and it's freaking, dude, listen, I've been beat up 1,000 times. I'm still
and
here.
You're still standing, and you learn.
Yeah, and again, you start to learn that half of what you anticipate's not even going to happen. Like people overestimate the consequences.
They do.
I know. We're taught to, because we want to survive, and our parents love us, so they taught us to be careful. And it's like, oh my God, we literally are teaching our kids to be scared and cautious, and well, we don't want them hurt. Why do you think that they're going to get hurt? And not only that, they will heal and they will learn and they will grow. And pretty soon they're not going to be able to be hurt. Yeah, because they're badasses.
Yes. Word. Yes. So
quit your job if you got a corporate job. People always say, Brad, how do you say that when you have people that work for you? Listen, I help people go start their own business all the time. And anybody that says, hey, I'm leaving to start my own business, high five. I mean, don't leave me high and dry. Give me a couple of weeks so I can find someone else. But at the end of the day, I think everyone should, even if they work at one of my organizations, I think everyone should have a side gig and start that business and get it cranking. You don't have to stop. You don't have to be so brave that you're willing to throw it all away after 15 years of service. And you do have pension overrides and stuff. No, don't be foolish, but I think everyone should start a business.
I love that too.
You did it.
Yeah, I did it.
And are you happy?
I'm so happy I did it.
Were you scared you wouldn't make any money and you'd end up back at a corporation?
I was scared and I did it anyway. And that's what people
How'd it work out?
worked out pretty damn well.
Yeah. See?
And but there's all the loved ones that were saying, don't do it. Don't do it. So you got to surround yourself with who are the people who started their own company. Listening to your podcast is a great thing people can do. Like, surround yourself with the messaging of people that will encourage you. It could be reading books. It can be listening to podcasts like this. People could follow me. I give every day a little reminder to motivate people to be brave, to do the hard thing.
Where can they follow you, by the way?
I'm everywhere. I'm in LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook.
You're like a rock star on LinkedIn because that's where all the people working are.
I'm more of a LinkedIn girl. Yeah. Yeah.
Jill Schulman, folks, by the way, Schulman. So it's just like it sounds. Schulman, Schulman. And Jill, just like it sounds, is Jill. Yes. Now, you can follow her on Instagram at Jill Schulman. You can find her anywhere at Jill Schulman. I'd say go get her book. Last question for you, Jill. Mm-hmm. Do you want to surround yourself with a bunch of yes people? Because again, you say follow everybody that encourages you. And I always, when I hear that, I'm always like, I like it, but I don't want the wrong people because I don't want yes people around me.
No.
I want people who really care around me, because when people think encourage, it's like, oh, you want to do that? That's great. You should do it.
That's not how I define it. Encourage is,
sometimes it's the truth and you don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
You want to surround yourself with people that tell the truth. Love ain't lies.
Yes.
You ever heard that before?
Yes. I like to say, don't surround yourself with nice people, surround yourself with kind people. People who are kind enough to tell you what you need to hear in order for you to get stronger. That's what I do, a lot of that work in corporate America, teaching people how to say what needs to be said, say the hard thing, because that's in the best service of the company, whatever. So yes, when I say encourage, I want to surround myself with people who, when I'm trying to do something that is new, that I'm scared of, they're going to be the ones that are going to say, get back up and get back to work, learn from it. So that's what I mean by encourage, right? Is not just everything's okay, but get back up, keep going.
Not yes people, folks.
Not yes people.
One time I walked out on a stage, I'm looking out in the audience and I see one dude and his teeth are just jacked up. And this was like a VIP section where I knew those tickets are $5,000.
Wow.
And so I said, hey, if you came in here with your teeth looking like, your tongue's in jail, then your priorities probably aren't right. It's $5,000 to get in this room and you got jacked up teeth. Everyone couldn't believe I said it. That dude went and got his teeth fixed. 2 years later, same audience, same room. In fact, I spoke there 9 years in a row. Why? Because they like me. They like the truth.
Did he appreciate it? Did he come back to you and say?
He came up. He was sitting there looking. There's some weird dude looking at me at the bar. I didn't remember it was him. It made me think. When I speak, I don't have a speech. I don't have PowerPoints, and I don't say, oh, here's what I'm going to talk about. I go out there and kind of feel like, okay, if you're realtors and you're trying to sell more, I will tell you, in my opinion, and I talk. I don't.
You just kind of riff. Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't remember him because I just noticed that this dude has jacked up teeth. And in my head, it's like, dude, people are judging you. Fix yourself up. Do your hair. Dress nice. Make it easy to succeed, right? For people to like you. Because again, if I was really offensive looking and I had messed up teeth and they were all yellow, and I was trying to tell you I was successful, what would you be thinking?
What you're saying and how you look does not match. It would be confusing. Yeah.
So that's all I was trying to say. Fix your damn teeth. And so he went and fixed his teeth. Came back 2 years later. He's some dude at the bar looking at me, a little weird. And he said, you remember me? And I said, no. Do I know you? He said, no. He said, 2 years ago, you told us to fix our teeth. And I went and fixed my teeth. And then he started crying. And he was like, that was the best thing that ever's happened. I started smiling again. I met my wife. I did. And, he succeeded even more. And it was fixing his damn teeth. Why, though? Fixing his damn teeth fixed his image.
And it sounds like it boosted his confidence.
Gave him confidence. And folks, I don't need Jill to tell me what she's saying is true because I already know it's true.
Yeah.
The hard shit is what helped me. And that's why every day I wake up sometimes, I am always grateful for the opportunity, but then I get out and I start creating hard things.
Mm-hmm.
Like my morning is what most people would say is difficult. And then once it becomes easy and routine, I change it. Like this morning, believe it or not, have you ever done like different types of jumping jacks for 3 minutes?
No.
Try it.
All right.
Do you work out hard?
I work out pretty hard.
Try doing 3 minutes of jumping jacks.
Okay.
Certain kinds. I was like, this morning, I was like, I didn't like it. It was very uncomfortable. And I'm like, okay, I'll get through this. And so I'm going to do that for about 90 days. So hopefully it's just a new routine. So I switch it up.
You got to switch it up. Yeah.
What are you doing in town? You're here to speak at the big EOS event?
EOS Fitness.
EOS.
Amazing fitness chain. So all the leaders from across the country are coming together. And I have the honor of being their keynote. So I'm excited. And
before you go, talk about leadership for 2 seconds, because I've just discovered how important that was. Like I used to think that's just a corporate-y bullshit word, leadership. What does it even mean? And in reality, my real, because I always do things real, relationships. Why? Because that's the most important thing. Energy. Why? Well, because again, that's very important. Affluence. It's not just money, it's affluence. You want to be affluent. Affluence. And then L used to be for lifestyle. Why? Because I knew a lot of rich, successful weirdos that didn't do anything, and they were always miserable because they didn't know what cool was. Like they didn't have hobbies and they didn't do this. And I was one of them. So I always said lifestyle, but recently I've just changed it to leadership. Leadership. Because leadership's massively important. If you're building a company or you're in a company, personal leadership, you got to be a leader to your family. Leadership is so important. And I forgot to talk about that. So take a minute and tell us. There's self-leadership. So you're going to have a hard time leading other people if you can't lead yourself. So you got to learn how to set goals, do hard things, be disciplined yourself so you can model the way. So self-leadership is where it starts. And of course, leading your family and leading others. And this is where I've been for 15 years talking leadership. So, this is like at my heart, but I think the one thing I can say is the heart of a leader should be a servant leader. You hire people so that they can serve the company, the mission, the vision, the values, and that all needs to come down. But once you hire someone, you got to change your mindset and like, how can I help this person be the most successful in this job? Right? So what training do they need? What support do they need? Like our job is to help our people be successful, especially as a company grows. You know, the most important leaders are usually like the first level leaders because they're leading the people who are at the front lines who are interacting with the customers. So you're really empowering people to be successful. If the people that work for you are successful, they're competent, they're accomplishing their goals, they're crushing things, then you are successful. But so many times leaders are like, my people suck and I'm the greatest and they suck. I'm like, if your people suck, then you suck as a leader. Yeah, your job is, I didn't realize that, but I would do that all the time. Because again, I thought, hey, move over, let me do it. God dang it, I need a better team. Well, I needed a better leader. Yeah. And this is the great thing about leadership too. I thought I was a great leader getting out of the Marine Corps. I'm a captain of Marines. I know everything about leadership. And then when I got to corporate America, I just realized there's so many things that I could do better. So the reason I got into leadership development is it really changed me. I kept learning, reading and going to workshops and growing, and I became a much better leader. So some people just think, oh, this is my personality. This is just my leadership style. Like if it's not effective, we need to change it. So, are you willing to be hired by a company? Yes, absolutely. Not like as a consultant, but like W-2, come work for me, only me. That's it. No, I've grown to a point where now I love working for multiple companies, and I feel like I can have a bigger impact by bringing my research to different companies to scale. But going back to one company and being W-2'd, I think once you become an entrepreneur, you get the bug, and now I want to do bigger and bigger things as an entrepreneur. So I want to keep moving forward. I feel like going back to a corporate job would be taking a step back. So, well, folks, sorry, she's not hireable, but she is hireable if you want her to come in here and help your company grow, help yourself grow. Go get her book, follow her, And I appreciate you coming in.
Thanks for having me.
And I hope we become friends so I can put you in my bravery tribe.
Yeah, let's do it. You want to do a push-up contest next?
Until next time, folks, keep it real.